Howdy, this is Piper the Sailor Man, Sailor the Piper Man, coming you this morning from the island of Puerto Rico. I'm with a 780 church down, and I'm smoking some Peterson Irish whiskey. It's pretty strong stuff, man. Early in the morning. Last night I was smoking the Irish flake, and it was a bit bitey. One match. Got me a cup of coffee. Look at this. Isn't this beautiful? When I purchased this house, when I bought it, not the house, I'm sorry, Lazy Boy chairs. I bought two Lazy Boy chairs, one for my wife and one for me. Our kids are all grown, gone. One is in Pennsylvania, the other one's up in Connecticut. One of the girls here is back in New York, and the other one works here as a nurse with my wife as nurses at the VA hospital here in San Juan. So when I purchased this home, I said, I'm sick and tired of couches. And when I was working as a tobacconist, I used to come home with my legs dead tired, man. There's nothing like getting up 6 days a week from 8:30 in the morning to 8:30 at night. That's how much work I put in as a tobacconist. And help build one of the best stores in America. I can say that. Cause when I decided to leave, I had a bad leg, really bad leg. I had an ACLU, and the surgeon for the Knicks was also one of my customers. And I told him about it. He goes, "You should have that check come to my office." He didn't charge me. When we talk about a surgeon, the Knickerbocker surgeon, New York Knicks, and you make friends, I thought, geez, it's going to cost my insurance, arm and a leg, and my premium's going to go up, or the whole shebang. So I went. He said, "Me go in charge of you. You're my friend. You always take care of me when I come to the store. I love talking to you." Yada, 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 right? I was so happy. This leg gave me problems from a repelling accident that I had. I was with 2nd Recon Battalion, 2nd Mardiv, out of French Creek. I did 3 years with them, attached to Met Battalion, then attached to them, and we were involved in the TWA hijack and the Lebanon crisis, and before that, I was part of the Delta team that went in to try to rescue the Iranian hostages, literally. And if you study history, it was a fiasco. They hadn't done the topography, they hadn't done the reconnaissance work, they had no eyes on the floor, and they were going to do this mission. So you can imagine if the Osama bin Laden mission could have ended up as a disaster, you can imagine this mission, which was back in 1980, I think. I was young. I was 22, 21. I was very proud being a medic and serving my country at a time when nobody wanted to serve. Nobody wanted to serve. You know, after the Vietnam, after 1975, nobody wanted to serve. And my brother and I felt it was our duty as Americans to serve our country. We did, honorably. And my brother got out after 4 years, 5 years, and I made a career. I retired. A lot of people said, Miguel, why did you stay so long? You're so talented. You're a musician, an artist, a poet. You know, you're studying theology, and you know, I was like a Renaissance man. I didn't call. They called me. I didn't call. I said when I start learning to speak proper Latin and understand and can speak Greek, the ancient texts, then you can call me Renaissance man. Until then, so I served my country. Well, I had this bad knee. Getting back to the start, I had this bad knee. Went to the doctor. Doctor took a get operated on that knee. So I went ahead and got operated on the knee. And it's always gives me problems, you know, here and there. But I didn't get a knee replacement. I don't want a knee replacement. So I didn't want. So I started squatting. It got better. I started lifting weights again. And decided to retire. After 9/11, that was it, man. What was done? All the harrowing experiences that I had gone through in the military. Literally, I was on the tarmac when a couple of rounds came out of nowhere, AK rounds. I was with a gentleman named Staff Sergeant Coco. I think he was Italian. I'm not sure. I think he was from Bayonne. Bayonne. I like the way Italians talk. I mean, Italians from New Jersey, like the Sopranos. Hey, Carmine. I grew up around Italians, Irish, all kind of people. You know, living. I moved around a lot, so I got to live out the island. I got to live out way out there in the Italian section. My grandma had business with them. So I went to school with them, and at first, you know, you gotta remember, I grew up during that busing separation, they took kids, they called them minority kids and shipped them there, and they said all of a sudden you're in a white school. Well, I was in a Jewish, Italian, Irish, and German school. And at that time, I was like alone. I was inverted. I would sit there and not talk to anybody. I just got from Puerto Rico, and so I didn't know the nuances of the languages. You know, hey, bud, what's up? Hey. Yeah. So there was a black community, rich Hasidic community, and right smack in the middle was good American apple pie, you know, and so I was very much influenced by hippies. Living on Long Beach City, right off of Boardwalk, in the summer of 1968, 69, you could imagine how wonderful it was, man. There was a playland. It was a lot like Ashbury Park. People hung out, people surfed, people went to the beach, people drank. You know, people got high LSD and acid and all that. At that time, that wasn't my thing, but Surfing. I love to swim. Always been a good swimmer. So I get out there and I watch these kids, and one of them just came up to me. Hey kid, do you know how to surf? I said no, but I could learn. I think I could do it. I'm a good swimmer. Get yourself aboard. So it so happens that the surf shop was owned by a half American, half Samoan who had lived in Hawaii, came over, married his girlfriend, was living on the island. He knew about surfboards. So back then you had with these long boards, freaking heavy, man. So he customized one for me. I was a skinny little runt. Got out there, started body surfing. There was nobody out there body surfing. And they were laughing at me because I was wearing a life preserver, World War II life preserver from my uncle who had it. So I put it on because Atlantic Oceans, from the stories that my uncle told me, was very dangerous water. So I always took precautions. So the kids were laughing at me. Ha 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 ha. Look at him, he don't know how to swim. Well, one day I decided I'm gonna show these guys. Well, the day I decided, I went out there, there was like 20 kids out there, and there was a party, and they had the transistor radios. I could hear Mrs. Robinson. Is it Mrs. Ron? Hey, Mrs. The Graduate had just gotten out. So this was like 69. The Graduate had just gotten out. So they had the soundtrack. And so they were playing that. I'm swimming out. The guys are out there. The waters were rough. I didn't know. I didn't know much about surfing. So these kids knew all the, watching out for weather patterns and all that. I just freaking went out there. And as I started swimming, man, I was taken way out there. I was being pulled out to sea. And I was struggling to get back in. I should have swam parallel. I was struggling to come in. I didn't know anything about swimming parallel to the shoreline. Then, once you get pulled out, you can come back in. I was out there. Luckily, the U.S. Coast Guard. Out of nowhere, U.S. Coast Guard appeared. What it was is this elderly lady, Jewish lady from one of the condominiums on the boardwalk that had condominiums, had been watching me and saw me get taken out. So here comes a Coast Guard. There was a group of people I could barely see. It was like about a mile out, man, almost a mile out, half a mile at least. And I could see I'm out there, and I'm like, oh my God, where's this curve gonna take me? It would have taken me somewhere out Montauk Point, Long Beach. It would have taken me out to Montauk Point, and then I would have been in real trouble with the sharks, The helicopter guy comes. And one of the divers jumps in the water. He says, "Are you all right?" I got taken out to sea. So he pulls down the thing, harness. It looked more like a Nielsen Robinson stretcher. Really, I was attacked, and they grabbed me. He says, "You're a good swimmer." He goes, "Yeah, I just didn't know how to." So it was one of those embarrassing moments, I thank so much. You ever got helped by somebody and you really didn't know who it was? It happens to me so many times. And so many times I was in danger while in the military, you know? That I count my blessings. I'm here retired, you know. Some people, you know. I was on the TWA. I was on the tarmac. AK rounds were coming at me. Getting back to the original story. AK rounds, there was Staff Sergeant Coco. He was Italian. And he's standing there. And we're like, holy cow, we're getting shot at. So I roll for cover. He goes, they can't hit you, Santiago. I said, what can? This is, they're too far away and the trajectory and all that stuff. So he was just standing there and it was skipping off the man. But he wasn't afraid. He was like that freaking guy in Apocalypse Now, standing there, you know, talking loudly, you know. But that was his second tour. 11 now. Hey, listen, man. I ain't gonna have no accident. I'm a medic. You guys need me. He goes, oh, that's right. I was a medic, but I didn't hang with the medics. I hung out with the grunts. I was the first to go when they had a forest march. I was the first to go. I loved hiking. So, at my first forced march, I just love my the CEO. He smoked a pipe, so he would allow us to smoke pipe or cigar on the forced march. That's unheard of. That's against regulations. But he didn't give a shit. He was a maverick. I think he was forced to resign. Something happened. Something happened. I think he busted up some important people in a barroom fight. He was real Marine, real grunt. He went out with his troops. He came back with his troops, but they looked down at him, and he was a graduate from Annapolis. You know, he wasn't from. His whole family had been since fought on the side of the Confederates, and he was in the military. So he had a long family history of fighting in all the major wars of America. He came from a military family, so he knew the deal. He knew all about the politics. He was in there because he was a soldier. He had a warrior spirit, much like I did. So he could tell, he could tell, like, he always liked those that went the extra miles. And he really respected me because after 50 clicks, 15 clicks, 20 clicks, the guys rested and I checked their feet, checked their hands, checked their back, whatever medication. I took real good care of the troops. And so he requested that I be part of second recon. Then I went through the training. I went Fort Gordon. I went to Bragg. And then I went to Navy diving school, frogman school. I had 3 years of training, doing all that, running. I could run 10K like nothing, man. In blue, like nothing. I was very, very, exceptional athlete, I could say. Put it this way, when we had to go in a Westpac, we were McSyside. One of the SEAL teams out there, I think they were stationed in Okinawa, came on board. It was on an LPH helicopter landing platform, USS New Orleans. They came on board, and that was my first time checking out the SEALs, and they were I was working on their little fast black boats, working out in their hangar bay. It was separate from us. So they wanted our compartment space. And we were in the back. The dude comes in with his duffel bag, sea bag, throws it on the guy's rack, and says, "Get up, get your stuff, get out. We taking over." I'm like, "What the fuck is these? Who are these guys?" Just like that, the guy took a look at the Navy SEAL emblem that he had on. He grabbed his stuff and left. There's a Marine. There's a Marine moved. He went back to his section. The other dude comes and tries to tell me that's our birthing space, medic in the back, right next to the BDS station. And I look at him. I say, "You joking?" He said, "No. Get your stuff and leave." I said, "I ain't leaving." So he said, "All right, I fight you for it." I said, "Fight me for it? Where?" He didn't expect me to say where. We'll put on some gloves, they'll full contact karate, whatever they practice. So we went upstairs and these SEALs were like, "Oh shit, here's a medic that's gonna throw down." What they didn't know, that already had taken 6 months of Okinawa style Ishiru in San Diego and 2 months in Okinawa. So I was hardcore and I knew some stuff. I was a fencer in my first year of college. So I knew strategy, I knew tactics, and I was strong, ox like Mike Tyson. So I could tell he was Taekwondo and combat karate. So we go at it. He missed his first kick. I came in and laid him out. One punch. Just laid him out. They were so in shock. All these SEALs, they wanted to jump me. I said, "Wait a minute, this is supposed to be a fight with him." Not anymore. And the SEALs came at me and I'm running around. I'm running around the hangar bay. I'm taking stuff, throwing it at them. Another guy grabbed me behind the back. I get out of that. It broke out into one of those wrestlers cage match because some sailors saw, they're attacking the sailor all of a sudden, man. Sailors, Airedales, boiler techs, hull technicians, we were all at it, man. And hull technicians and boiler techs are real strong guys. So, a lot of these SEAL teams are good technicians, guns and all that. But one of these hull technicians grabbed one of these SEALs, picked him up and threw him down. I'm talking about redneck guys from Tennessee, Appalachia, West Virginia were on my side. McIntosh, McCauley, Irish guys that had drunk. They go, "No, that's our medic, man," and they got into a fight with the XO had to come down because when the other sailors on the flight deck find out that on the lower deck there was a fight, the whole air division came down, man. The whole air division came down. The boatswain's mate. When he turned around, there was 50 against 14 SEALs, man. They were gonna get their ass whooped. Not on this ship, not on the New Orleans. The Battle of New Orleans had taken place over a medic, man. And I told him, you get out of that's my compartment space. That's my buddy's space. And I went and got the hey man, come back. But it was on. After that, I gained so much respect from the SEALs, man. You know, because they saw how people reacted towards me. I was very well liked on board the ship. I took care of the troops. When they caught the clap, you know, I gave them their tetracycline shots. Please don't tell my wife. You know, in the Philippines, you know, married man come back in. I think I got syphilis. I think I got the clap. Come on. Please, man, you don't tell my wife. So I was cool like that, you know. They would always buy me drinks when I was with the Navy or I was with the Marines, you know. Good. Marines don't have no medics. So I was a medic, but I was a jock. I was a medic that was a jock, you know. I played rugby. I was hardcore, you know. I even had a mohawk haircut. That's how squared away I was, you know. I was like, with the Romans do as the Romans do. So this morning I'm with this beautiful church water. Actually, this Irish whiskey is pretty good. Man, I'm going blind. Tell you, man, I used to have 20/20 vision.